I just sold 50 copies of that track, but that's just how you start. There's nothing anymore left in the fridge. My last clean stuff to wear. I also lost my wireless headphones somewhere here, or maybe here. I think we all know why I'm in this situation, and I'm sure you have noticed some slight changes since she left 2 weeks ago to go on vacations. As I said on the day where she left, she's kind of my balance in life, and without her I kind of just work, do my music, and maybe hang out with a couple of friends, and that's basically it. I don't watch any TV shows alone, I don't watch TV alone. So the thing that I like to do the most when I'm not hanging out with someone else is just to make music. It is so much fun, but even things that make so much fun have a limit. I've reached that actually already 2-3 days ago. I kept continuing, but yesterday was really the last day that I spent in the studio. Today I'm taking really a break. I guess I got this working mentality from my dad. He's an artist making these kind of paintings, and if you go closely to it, you will probably have an imagination how much time and effort it takes to do something like that. This is all oil on canvas, and if you go really close you can see how detailed it is. It's very precise, a lot of work is going into this. And creating this isn't even the most time-consuming part. What really takes a lot of effort, time and concentration is learning how to do this. That's also true for music production and basically everything else in life. But now back to the task for today. I also have to take care of all of the mess here at home. Vanessa just asked me for one thing, and that was to keep this place clean. I kind of failed, but I still have enough time to fix it. Believe me, this took way longer than it looks like. It's even already starting to get a little bit dark again, and another thing I promised Vanessa is to take care of breakfast tomorrow morning when she's coming back. By the way, I've lost almost 8 pounds in the past 2 weeks, celebrating it with a chocolate donut. I've been so busy the past couple of days that I didn't even manage to read and answer all of your comments, so a perfect opportunity to do the next Q&A. Okay, where do we start? I don't know how, but it seems like Vanessa ordered clothes while being on vacations. Okay, let's get to the first question. First one is by Andrew. He's asking if I have ever put more than 5 to 6 hours a day into making music. Yes, pretty much for the entire past 2 weeks. It's not that I'm making the entire time music. It's really important to do breaks in between. I usually try to work maybe 4 or 5 hours, then a break, or 3 hours, a little break, just to refresh my ears a little bit, especially when I'm doing mixing. But the creative part, I could do it for hours without stopping. Or instead of having breaks, I just do business things instead of music, 1 hour, and then I go back to making music. That's how I try to balance it and get the most out of myself. Second question is by Sebastian. He's asking me how I got my first record label deal. I basically just asked a friend who had a label if I could do a remix for one of the upcoming tracks, and that's how the first one got released. My first original track was basically the same. I just knew somebody here in the city that is a DJ and producer that also had a small label, and I just sent him my stuff, got into contact, and it got released. I just sold 50 copies of that track, but that's just how you start. The next one is by Chris. He's asking me how I set up my reverbs. That's so complex, I will actually have to do an entire video about this topic. Next one is by Alexander Williams. He's asking me which artist influenced me the most and who are my favorite artists today. That's a bit tough to answer. Let me think. I'd say the ones that influenced me the most are the ones that I listened to when I started making music and producing and really carefully listened to other productions. Definitely Axwell, Eric Prydz, Deadmau5, but all of their music from back in the days. The stuff that some of them do right now is not really my type of music anymore. And favorite artist today, it's really hard. I mean, I don't actually have a favorite artist at the moment that I like admire or I don't know, no. Can't really think of anybody. There's a lot of stuff that I like and like listening to and that inspires me. But I think since I got myself an artist, I don't have other artists I kind of look up to. It's usually more vocalist where I'm really impressed. If I hear really good vocals on a track, I immediately look up who wrote them, who sang them, and that's what impresses me because that's something I can do myself and I have a lot of respect for. Little Bass Master is also asking about reverbs, so this seems really to be requested. I will probably make a tutorial next week about reverbs. And he also has another question: how do I manage my time with school and making music? So when I was in school, I started producing and got so much into it that I actually not really went to school anymore. The thing here in Germany is when you turn 18, you can write yourself an excuse and don't have to go to school anymore, and that's pretty much what I did almost every other day. I still somehow managed to get good grades and finish my school, but that's really another story. I might do an entire video about my school time. It was super fun. And they tried to kick me out 3 times for... yeah, to be honest, it was my fault actually. It's now 3:20, I'm editing the video right now and I just realized that I didn't really answer the question. There are actually just 2 ways. You either sacrifice other things to have more time to make music, or you just do everything else and also the making of your music more efficient so that you can kind of get more out of the time that you have left. But these are really the only 2 options. The day only has 24 hours. You need to sleep 6 hours or maybe just 4, as I'm doing it almost every night. And just make it work. It's the same with me doing these vlogs. I never thought I would be able to do them daily, and I just do them daily, and that's it. Now back to the Q&A. Brian is asking me about my EQs. He's asking me what equalizers I use besides of the one of Logic. And I have to say I like the Logic ones really a lot since they updated it. You can now even EQ the mids and sides separately. They've integrated so much functions that other EQs only used to have that I really tend to use it for all of my basic EQing and sometimes some other EQs, but they're less for EQing. I use them more to color the sound. Phil is asking what I think about not drinking alcohol, because a lot of older DJs and producers stop drinking because of living without the hangover and stuff like that. Yeah, I get that. I'm not touring that much, almost not at all, so I don't have the problem that I'm every weekend in a club where I get free drinks and I'm surrounded by people that expect to party with you. If I would start touring a lot more, I don't know. I will have to figure it out, but it's probably for the best to reduce the alcohol as much as possible. I personally have a lot of fun drinking with friends and stuff, but I usually try to stop it at the point where I know I will have trouble the next day getting up and working. I don't really want to lose the time that I could spend in the studio and make music. There are a lot more questions. I will try to answer the rest of them tomorrow. The last one for today is by Ogre. He's asking me what is my favorite plugin, and I would definitely give it to Diva. I actually made a video about my top 10 favorite plugins, and it's still the one that I find the most versatile and I always go back to when I don't know what to use and what sound to make. But the new Serum synth that I got is also really nice, would be my number 2 spot. All done with cleaning up. I even also found my headphones again. The bathroom was a lot of work. As well as the bathroom, I tend to just go in there drop all of my clothes onto the floor and go into the bed. That's usually how tired I am. And all of these clothes piled up over the past 2 weeks. To be honest, I don't really know how to wash. Usually when I wash something, it just shrinks. I usually like to go out on parties on Saturdays, but since Vanessa's coming tomorrow very early, I'm just hanging out with a friend to stay fit and not be hungover the next day. Maybe just 1 glass of wine or 2. This guy's trying to park and I'm pretty sure he will wreck his car if he goes just 1 centimeter more back. Out of my mind.